Shaping occurs when we differentially reinforce successive approximations of a target behavior. We decide on the target behavior before we start working with the animal. In this case, the target behavior is a complete counterclockwise circle. Our participant today is bird number 77, a 14-year-old male white king pigeon. We first observed the bird's baseline behavior. This behavior will vary depending on the bird. Some birds will move around while others will stand still. This information helps us to form our first set of response classes. Which behaviors will be reinforced and which won't be reinforced are determined by the response classes. For this bird, turning the head slightly in a counterclockwise direction is the first behavior that will be reinforced. Standing in the corner or moving at the back of the chamber does not earn the bird reinforcement. This makes the standing behavior less likely to occur and the turning behavior more likely to occur. The bird has now abandoned the behavior of standing in the back of the chamber and is standing in front of the food hopper, where we'd like him to start the circle. He is moving his head slightly in a counterclockwise direction, and we are reinforcing this behavior with food. Eventually, the turns become larger. He works his way up to about a 90-degree turn. As he continues to do this, we can narrow the response class. We will no longer reinforce for a slight turn, but will only reinforce for turns that are 90 degrees or greater. On his own, the bird turns 180 degrees, facing the back wall of the chamber. This is a half circle. By narrowing the response class, 90-degree turns will no longer be reinforced. One of the initial effects of extinction on behavior is the increased variability of the response. We are using this to get the bird to offer something closer to the target behavior than what he is currently doing. After several repetitions of reinforcing the bird for the 180-degree turn, we stop reinforcing that as well. This changes the topography of the bird's response. It creates more variability. The bird eventually turns 3/4 of the way around the chamber, a 270-degree turn, and even closer to our target behavior of a full circle. Eventually, the bird starts to perform the 270-degree turn reliably, and we can stop reinforcing that and only reinforce a full circle. Here's the finished product. After the shaping session, the bird turns in a full circle in one fluid motion. Our target behavior has been achieved. Shaping can be done with any species. To see what this looks like outside of the operant chamber, we'll observe the behavior of Marge, a 4-year-old Labrador Retriever mix. Much like the pigeon, who has come to associate the sound of the food hopper with the delivery of food, Marge has been trained so that the clicker precedes the delivery of food. This lets her know which responses will be reinforced. Like we did with the pigeon, we observe the dog's baseline behavior and then form response classes. In this case, we are reinforcing the dog for moving her head slightly in the counterclockwise direction. Eventually, that slight head turn no longer earns the dog reinforcement. Therefore, she tries something different in order to hear the click and receive the treat. She makes a larger turn. A head turn isn't the only thing that we could reinforce. Eventually, she begins to move her foot as she starts to turn. We will consider this when we form our next set of response classes. Perhaps we will not only reinforce for a head turn, but will also require movement of the feet as well in order to earn reinforcement. Eventually, by using extinction and stopping the reinforcement of responses that were previously reinforced, we get the dog to perform a full counterclockwise circle. Like with the bird, we can get this behavior to eventually be one fluid motion by differentially reinforcing only the best and fastest circles.